terms of the combinations we've had in the last few days. So excited to be here once again. You know, just like football, they're conditioned. Sometimes it's snowing, sometimes it's raining, and these players just have to do what they do. Those guys are battlers, and under the rain, under the sun, even though they're no be coppers, but I'm sure they are ready to give Nigeria and the world a great show tonight. So yeah, I'm battle ready.
Indeed, we're all battle ready. I'm sure you are out there ready to be part of this, because you matter so much. Your vote to count via social media. 10% of the votes on Twitter, 10% on Facebook, and then 20% will go to the callers. We'll pick 7 calls when we're done with the first battle. Same with the second battle, to a minimum of or maximum of 7 calls, I should say. Could be less than that if one of the contestants gets 4 before call number 7. Also, we're streaming live on Facebook. Check us out, Nigeria Info FM. Yeah, that's how you can find us. 993 Nigeria Info FM 99.3 on Facebook to stream live and watch what's happening here. There's some beautiful faces, 2 lovely ladies and 4 gentlemen. If you add myself, I'm not sure I'm too gentle though. But also you can join up via Twitter. Yes, at Nigeria Info FM, and there's the YouTube link on Twitter, so you can watch what's happening here in the studio live on YouTube. We're going for a quick commercial break now. When we return, we're going to be battle ready. This race to get the domination and dominance is up for Joyce and also Daniel. All of those who come shortly, get ready to be part of the magic too via the phone lines when time for the voting process comes alive. Don't forget, the race is for a prize money of 1 million Nigerian naira. It's season 3 of the fan battle, and it's one that should give us lovely stuff. Yeah, streaming, all of that. Yeah, indeed, I'm not dreaming, we're streaming. Facebook, go over there. We'll be back right after this.
Flex, now dash glow dash me.
And I want to assume that you would run, because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those that need to be fired are fired.
It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not.
Why you call my name like that?
Oh, you're no vex now, my friend. Wait, you know see the kind big gram over Kafila carry come us just now?
I don't see anything. Yeah, go see her.
Baba Kafila, this your Ileya go barakete. But wait, where you get this kind big gram carry come?
So you never hear say Adams and Property, they do their super Ileya pro. Whether you buy full plot or half plot of land, if you pay initial deposit of 25,000 to 1 million naira, you will get bracket gifts like 2 big gram, 50 kg bag of gas cooker, DSTV subscription, smart TV, washing machine, granola, and all that yafu gifts. Sure, you still there?
Yes, so me say don't dey rush dey go make I go join the leading team because you know come.
For inquiries, call
080-933-99774 or 070-395-25952.
Hey, Junior, they celebrate 10 years, and we did give the groove high level now because as our correct customer, you can't pay for we back. You don't show us plenty love for 10 years now. Make we save summer you jollyment with correct.
And I want to assume that you would run, because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those. Those that need to be fired are fired.
It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not.
A mother's love is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
Have you been disconnected because you didn't link your national identification number to your MTN number? Don't worry. If you already have your NIN, here are 5 ways to reconnect. 1. Dial *785#. 2. Text your national identification number NIN to 785. 3. Chat with Ziggy on WhatsApp number +234 9033 000001. 4. Visit my MTN NG app. Or 5. Visit www.mtn.ng. If you don't have a national identification number, just walk into any MTN store or NIMSI center near you or visit the MTN website to book an appointment. What are we doing today?
Hi, my people. I'm Humble Smith, aka the Show Boy. You're listening to Femi and the Gang on 99.3 Nigerian Info. God bless you.
Hi guys, I'm Samuel Ajibola, aka Spiff of the Johnsons, and you are listening to Femi and the Gang on Nigeria Info.
Indeed, we are Femi and the Gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Brand always ready to hit your airwaves with a bang. It's the round of 24 stage, I should say, of Fan Battle Season 3. And that race for the 1 million naira prize money continues. We have 2 contestants ready for the first battle of the night on this day, June 30, 2022. It's Adenike Joyce versus Daniel Nkem. Guys, one more time, welcome. You ready, right?
Ready to go.
All right, you've done this before, so you know how it works for sure. A minute they would have each for their introductory lines, and then they'll have 2 minutes to battle it out in a head-to-head contest before getting into the wrap-up phase with a minute each again to just summarize the argument on the evening. Well, to remind you that you're not voting for these contestants based on the side of the topic they have decided to defend, but you will be voting for them based on their performance for tonight. Which of them would you prefer to listen to over and over again based on the performance when they're done? That's why you're going to be voting. So you could be one who believes in whatever ideology Adenike believes in based on the argument on the evening. But if she doesn't impress you enough, then you could go for what the other guy believes in, and vice versa too with Daniel and Kim. You could go for his side of the argument naturally. But if he doesn't impress you with his points and his delivery tonight, you could vote the other way. Okay, let's have sponsors for the next set of minutes. MasterCard, speak to us and then we can come in and get the battle running. They are speaking about Pep Guardiola and if the Manchester City manager is really dependent on money for success. Adenike says yes, he's dependent on money for success. Daniel says no, he is not dependent on money for success. Afina is dependent on money to ensure she buys the things she loves to get in life, and now she can tell us about how we can access money using our MasterCard.
Yeah, that's a good one, Chuma. I love that line because MasterCard, they're saying that shopping has never been more exciting. Every weekend from the 4th of June to the 10th of July, you stand a chance of winning a trip to watch a UEFA Champions League match live and other exciting prizes by paying with your MasterCard at major malls and select Spar stores in Lagos. Now, just follow the easy steps below and you are on your way to win to something priceless. Step 1, enroll at a MasterCard experience stand on activation days. Step 2, Scan the QR code for registration on your device. Step 3, go ahead to the shop at any of the stores and pay with your MasterCard. Now, step number 4, return to the experience stand with your evidence of payment. Step 5, then you'd have to scan the reward code and you could be the lucky winner of tickets to the next next season of the Champions League. Now, for more details on participating malls and spa outlets, quickly visit mastercard.shopperspree.com. mastercard.shoppers. Shoppers is spelled SHOPPASPREE.com. Remember, as always, terms and conditions apply. With MasterCard, it's all about starting something priceless.
Indeed, thank you so much for that, Serafina.
For my husband, for my MasterCard.
Shopping has never been more exciting. Every weekend from 4.
You could be 4 debates away from 1 million naira.
Good day, honorable judges, or ever attentive audience. That's the moderator, co-debater.
We've crowned 3 I Beg to Differ debate champions.
My name is Tanvita Kaushik. I'm Ruth Okocha. My name is Bawadesa.
And if you want to be the 4th,
in fact, it even gives you a new global perspective.
The quest
since 1998
begins
during the 2015 election.
Now. The auditions for the next I Beg to Differ debate tournament are on. It's open to all secondary school students in Lagos, aged between 12 and 16. Just go to www.nigeriainfo.fm and click on I Beg to Differ and follow the instructions. Auditions close 3 p.m. July 12th, 2022.
And I want to assume that you would run.
Our presentation here on Nigeria Info. Now we can get into the nitty-gritty of the battle itself. These contestants would have been telling themselves, Chuma, can you already run to this thing and let me know what's happening with my life in this race to get ₦1 million naira? Well, Adenike is smiling. I'm sure that's what would have gone through her mind. Same thing with Daniel too. So guys, you have a minute each to push your case at the very start. One more time, the topic speaks about Pep Guardiola and what money has done for him or not. Is Pep Guardiola really dependent on money for success? Adenike says yes, he is. Daniel argues, saying no, it's not about money for Pep. Adenike, you're ready for your 1 minute, right?
Yes, I am.
All right, so your time starts like right now.
Okay, if you want to talk about Pep Guardiola's dependency on money for success, we have to go as far back as 2009. This was the second year into his managerial career at Barcelona. And since then, Pep Guardiola has gone on to spend over €1 billion on transfer. In his second season at Barcelona, he spent €69 million to buy Zlatan Ibrahimovic from Inter Milan to Barcelona. And since then, as I mentioned before, he has gone on to spend over €1 billion on transfers. He has made record signings of goalkeepers, record signings of defenders, midfielders, attackers. He has bought players like Ederson, bought players like Joao Cancelo, bought players like John Stones, and the list goes on. And these players have been influential in all the teams that they have played in. So we can't talk about money and the deep pockets of the club that Pep Guardiola has managed and not say that this money has helped him achieve success in those clubs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adenike. Just hitting the nail on the head just before the 1 hour came and went. She deserves a round of applause, so doesn't she? Thank you for making your case. You're going to have 2 minutes in the beat to argue things out with the man who's speaking next in Daniel. Daniel says it's not about money for Pep Guardiola and his success. And Dan, if you're ready for me, I'm ready for you too. Your time starts right now.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Pep Guardiola, the man who actually left, took over the first team from the Team B. In his first season, he has no right to make big signings. The man went on and won treble, the first Spanish coach to ever do that. He did not waste anybody's money or anything. He did that effortlessly, and he's the first Spanish coach to do that. Regardless of doing this, he also went ahead to spend 4 years in Barcelona and won 14 trophies. In that 4 years, we have a gigantic team in Real Madrid who has more financial power than Barcelona, and this had more than 3 coaches in that 4 years, spending more than 150 million more than Pep Guardiola, but they only amount to 3 trophies. So if this person who spent less than Real Madrid can get 14 trophies, why will you succumb his success to the amount of money he spent, where the others that has spent more cannot amass the kind of trophies he had?
Thank you very much, Daniel. You took your time to just touch on the final sentence before you decided to stop after getting the alert. Do you call that alert this time around to stop? I don't know, I'm thinking about money courtesy of Sarafina and MasterCard, who are working with us for this part of our broadcast. So they've had a minute each. Just to remind you that you can go over to at Nigeria Info FM. That's on Twitter. We do have a post there, and you can vote, even though I would advise that you don't vote yet, because there's still so much more to come from the contestant. So you could want to listen to the head-to-head battle before you start making up your mind on who has impressed you the most on the evening. But it's going to be on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. The post will be out there for you to vote for who you believe has impressed you the most on the evening. Same thing with Facebook too. Nigeria Info FM 99.3. We're streaming live. You can go there, watch the presentation live from any part of the world you are in at the moment, and also feel free to drop your votes on Facebook. Well, guys, 2 minutes now for the head-to-head battle. Like I told you off the microphone, the weather today has been very cold. It's still very cold, so we're hoping that you guys can give us some heated debates. Off we go now with your 2 minutes of stringent and strong arguments. The time starts now.
From Barcelona. In Barcelona, you said he spent how many seasons?
He spent 4 seasons in Barcelona, winning 14 trophies.
And spent 200 million.
And Real Madrid spent 400 million. And Real Madrid spent 400. Real Madrid
300 million.
I will correct you. He spent 208 million in Bayern Munich. He did not spend 300
million.
He did not spend 300
He went to Man City and has spent over $1 billion. How many coaches in the world do you know have spent over $1 billion on players?
I will give you one, and that is Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho has spent over.
Name me three.
You said one, and I've given you one.
I said how many?
Yes, you said one. You said I should give you one, and I've given you one.
Spent in the last 5 years.
Jose Mourinho has spent over $1 billion
in the last 5 years.
Only having
in the last 5 years, no coach
only 26 trophies.
More players than Pep Guardiola. No, you can't say that.
Yeah, okay,
what's the record?
Okay,
in the last 5 years, nobody has spent more than Pep Guardiola.
We are talking about career of these coaches.
I'm talking about the career too.
Overall career coaches.
Yes.
Pep Guardiola has won 33 trophies and spending less amounts than what Jose Mourinho has spent. Jose Mourinho tops the cadre in spending in all the coaches in the world.
Who is the second? Who is the second?
Pep Guardiola. And he has trophies to show for it. If you are comparing success to money, then Jose Mourinho has to have won more trophies than Pep Guardiola because he has spent more.
Are you saying in those 5 years?
He has spent more.
See, in those 5 years,
he has spent more.
In the 6 seasons, in Man City, Guardiola has had 6 record signings. 6 record signings in every season that he has played, and you're saying he doesn't need money.
And I will give you
less than 100 million. He lost the league title to Liverpool.
Since Sheikh Mansour took over Manchester City.
Yes.
Till when they took.
Okay, I'll give you guys 1 more minute because I love what I'm listening to right now. But allow us hear yourselves, okay? Or allow us hear you as the case is. 1 more minute to wrap up this head-to-head debate.
Okay, since Sheikh Mansour took over Manchester City, Manchester City has spent over 1 billion euros.
Yes.
And they only had 5 trophies. Pep Guardiola came and I've spent 6 years.
Since Guardiola came in, we're not talking about Man City.
Coaches have come. Coaches spent this money.
Pep Guardiola's defenders. We're not talking about Man City in general. We're talking about Pep Guardiola in the last 6 years.
Yes.
How many Premier League coaches have spent more than Guardiola in the last 6 years?
If he has not spent more money in his last, if he has spent more money in the last 6 years, in the whole career, he has shown own fault for it because he has won 33 trophies.
But that means
he has won 34.
That means
and Jose Mourinho, who has not, he does not.
Depends on money.
He does not.
Yes, it does.
The equivalent. If you want to compare him, you compare him with somebody who also spent money.
You
and
mentioned
the
Jose
result.
Mourinho.
Yes.
Jose Mourinho went to Porto and won the league and won the Champions League.
But Jose Mourinho has spent over 1.1 billion pounds.
All right.
And yet has not won what Pep Guardiola has won.
I know I asked for a heated debate, but not the one that will burn us in the studio, actually. Or set us on fire as the case is. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It's glaring you came here to battle. 1 million naira, no be beans. So you guys took your time to put together your research just to ensure that you could argue your case out here tonight. You have 1 minute each to wrap up your argument for or against Pep Guardiola and his use of money to win trophies across board, whether in Spain where he coached, Germany, or even England where he currently handles the champions of that league in Manchester City. Well, the judges are still here taking notes. Serafina Napoleon, Samuel Victor Akpan, and Anthony Dimwaka, the voice as we love to call him. And you also can put together your votes on Facebook. It's Nigeria Info FM 99.3. We're streaming live, just to remind you, so you can see the handsome and the beautiful faces of those who are in the studio now. Beyond their argument of verbal prowess, you can also see their mannerism. That's for our contestants in Joyce and Daniel. On Twitter, it's at Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming live on YouTube. The link is there on the post on Twitter. And we're going to go to the phone lines in just over 2 minutes. MasterCard is bringing to you this time of our broadcast. We'll hear from them one more time shortly. But let's have a wrap on these arguments from Daniel and Adenike. 1 more minute for you. Adenike, you have the minute now to wrap up your thoughts against Pep and the fact that you think money has made him the great coach he is. Let's go.
Into Man City in 2016, and he handed his wish list to the Man City board. They went on and splashed over 200 million. But that was the first season in his managerial career that he went on a drought. No silverware. The next season, they handed him 300 million. He won the league title with 100 points. The season after that, and consequent small seasons, Manchester City have broken transfer records for Pep Guardiola countless times. Jack Grealish was signed for over 100 million. The only season Man City spent less than 100 million, which was when they bought Ryan Mahrez. They lost the league title to Liverpool, and they were knocked out of the Champions League by Tottenham. I think this has proven that Pep Guardiola depends on money for success. While he was at Bayern Munich were a properly run, structured club. They didn't want him to come to Bayern Munich to win the league title. He failed because...
All right. Well, I keep telling you, I'm acting like I'm Femi Daniels now as I ask that you just discard of those devices to avoid the sound that's not the best in the world right now. Or you could just wrap up your points. The moment you get the sound chime through, just land, someone will say, with your flies before you wrap things up. Thank you for that. Thank you for your thoughts, Adenike. Let's get to the final minute of Daniel's argument. And that minute for you, Daniel, begins right now.
Yes, I remember in 2018, when 2018-2019 season, when the Daily Mail came out and said magnificence never sleeps. That is after Manchester City has won the FA Cup 6-0 over Watford. Pep Guardiola still went ahead coaching Sterling to tell you that the man is skillful. He knows what he's doing. It's not about the money. He's not all about the money. If you are comparing money and success, it's like saying that Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are successful because of the money they've been paid. No. Pep Guardiola has shown countless times he changed the game of football in the Premier League by starting from behind. He has shown prowess. And if you are comparing money to trophies, Jose Mourinho, and I repeat, has spent more money than Pep Guardiola in this career history, and he has not won half. He has won less than what he won, 26 trophies, while Pep Guardiola has won 33 trophies. Both have spent money in its billions. Then Pep Guardiola is more skillful and know what he's doing, and his technical know-how is unparalleled.
All right, thank you for those finishing thoughts, Daniel. So over to you now, the listener, as to who you decide should progress to the next stage. That's the round of 16 stage of Fan Battle Season 3. We'll pick a maximum of 7 calls shortly to have you put out your votes via the phone lines. Then we'll go back to the judges here in the studio. 3 of them, 20% points they do have, or 20 percentage points they do have, respectively, in Samuel, Sarafina, and the one and only Anthony. And then we'll go back to social media. 10% of the votes is for Twitter, 10% for Facebook too. Let's hear from MasterCard one more time. And the moment we return, it's going to be all about you voting to keep someone or to send someone home. This is Fan Battle Season 3 live on Nigeria Info.
For my husband, for my son.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us? There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those. Those that need to be fired are fired.
It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not sure.
Here we go, Mimi. Keep listening to Femi and the gang.
Hi guys, I'm Peter Drury, football commentator, and you are hanging out with Femi and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info FM.
It is decision time for the first battle of the evening, June 30, the date one more time. And we're a few minutes away from 8 p.m. Well, we can have a maximum of 7 calls now. The first of the contestants to hit 4 votes through the phone lines would have taken the percentage of 20 from that side of life. Tony, how can they call in, please?
Well, it's quite simple. 0700 993 993 993. All right, for the ladies, we love you. We'll love to hear your voices. All right, 014657190. I'll take that number again, 014657190.
Just to appeal to you one more time, you're not voting based on what you believe in as to the topic. You're voting based on the performances of the 2 contestants so far in Joyce, Adenike, and also Daniel. So what do we have now?
Hello.
Yes, good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening, Chuma. My name is Robert.
Why does that sound like Robert Ekpo?
How are you?
I'm doing great, bro. Great to hear from you, Robert.
Good to hear from you, too. I'll just jump right in. Just before I give I say who I'm going to vote for, I want to say that since Pep arrived in City, he spent in his first season 203 million euros. Okay. You know, that's about 200 million pounds. Pep spends the most money in the league, signs the most players, and breaks record signings every season since he came to England. So I'd like to put my vote. I would like to vote for Adenike.
All right. Are you voting for her because of what you believe in?
Facts, figures.
Okay.
No, I'm rooting for her because of the points she gave. The other guy,
Daniel,
about Mourinho. Mourinho, we know that Mourinho spends money too, but Mourinho never spends money to become a record signing for the team he goes to. We know he spends money. He buys players and all that, but Pep spends money every season. Like last season, he bought Jack Grealish. Who, I mean, you can't spend so much money for such a player and keep him on the bench, you know. So Adenike was up and up with her point. She gave points. She was just hitting it on the head, and I was impressed. That's it.
All right, great to hear from you, Robert. Have a blessed evening, bro. Thank you so much. So, one vote for Adenike, and Daniel is yet to have one. Could happen now. Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir.
So please, before I give up my vote, I want to confirm, when do you actually give them the questions?
Just about 24 hours before the battle.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I would also like to commend Adenike first. She really gave her best. She's a lady. I really do encourage ladies that are into sports. Having said that, the guy actually knocked that off, because at the time, the debate was actually about what's it called? Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Are you with me?
No, it's about his career generally.
At Manchester City. So I wanted to believe he actually convinced her or confused her, saying Pep Guardiola, Mourinho spent more than Pep Guardiola. We're talking at a particular club.
No, not just at Manchester.
Career-wise.
His success
career-wise.
as a coach, yes.
Career-wise. Okay, if it's career-wise, then I think I'll still give it to Adenike. I actually wanted to give it to the guy if we're talking about at Manchester City. Okay. Because she didn't face Manchester City. She was actually looking at career-wise. So if it's at career-wise, I think she gets my vote then. Adenike gets my vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Two votes for Adenike. The question is Pep Guardiola really dependent on money for success? So that means for the entirety of his coaching career, not just at Manchester City. 2 votes for Adenike. And what do we have for the next caller now? Tony, please. Yes, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name?
My name is Dotun.
Welcome, Dotun.
Yeah. I'm voting for Adenike.
Okay. Do you have a specific reason? Sorry. All right, I'll take that. So 3 votes for Adenike. Dotun is quite a young man in his 9 or 10 years, just around that range. Hi. Good evening.
Well done. This is Habib on the line.
Sorry, take that again.
Habib on the line.
Habib, okay.
Yeah. My vote will go to Daniel in this instance. Yeah. Because Adenike actually said something like he had marriage, being bought, and at the end of the season they did not win the Premier League. I think that's the wrong fact. When they both he had marriage, Manchester City actually won the league. So my vote goes to Daniel.
All right. Finally, Daniel gets a vote now in 1 for him. Let's try it out again, the next one. Okay, so this is caller number 5 now. Hi. Who are you going to be going for? Adenike or Daniel? Hi. Welcome, you're live on Nigeria Info. Are you there? Yes, welcome.
Okay, thank you. I'm voting for Daniel.
Okay, what's your name, please?
My name is Ruth.
Okay, Ruth. So, Ruth, you're telling us the truth, right?
Yeah, I'm voting for Daniel. He actually did impress me.
Okay. Daniel for you. Thank you. So 3 votes to 2. The next caller could decide who gets 20% of the votes from the phone lines. Hi, welcome.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you too.
Yeah, I'm voting for Daniel.
Even Stevens, 3-3 now. Why? Do you want to share with us why?
Okay, the reason why is that when you watch Guardiola from the Barcelona, when he came up as a first coach, he did not spend much that he achieved. So now, it's not even matter of spending money, but it's when you know what you are doing.
So you're voting based on what you believe in and not based on their presentation tonight. Because you're supposed to vote based on their presentation tonight and not what you believe in.
Yeah, I go for Daniel.
Okay, Daniel, 3-3. Thank you so much. So, it's make or break. There'll be a victor and there'll be eviction. Or do you say a victim this time around? Let's see. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Okay, I'm Peculiar on the line.
Peculiar, welcome. Who
Yes,
gets
thank
your
you.
vote?
I'll pick Adenike. Her presentation was top notch for me.
Okay. So your call is a tiebreaker, and it means Adenike wins the call votes. Thank you, Peculiar, for calling us, sorry, and also scoring the two contestants tonight. So 20% is the edge Adenike has now over Daniel. Now we can run over to the judges. Just to remind you that things are still happening on Twitter. I'm sure that Tony would love to help me check out how many more minutes we have for votes on Twitter. Facebook is also very active for you. Nigeria Info FM 99.3 to not just stream live but also to vote. So we have 11 more minutes on Twitter for your votes. Go over to Nigeria Info FM if you don't mind and cast your vote there. You have 10 more minutes now to the end of that feed.
With all the stories that make the news,
The headlines.
the caption, the breaking news,
Details of the stories.
let's talk about.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
And the fine battle is the battle that's ready to make anybody get rattled somewhat. And I'm not too sure my judges got rattled while listening to the battle. I'm wondering who want to go first now in casting their judgment. Guys,
I think I'll go first.
this could be your chance to replace the acting Attorney General of the Federation. Is that no, the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, really?
I think I'll go first. Not really the sort of battle I expected on a cold day. Maybe the cold got to them, though. It's understandable. But but the thing is, their intro, spot on for me. Both parties did well with their intro. Adenike and Daniel, I loved your intro. I also loved your closing remarks, more like the outro. But the head-to-head is where I'm going to dwell on. When one thing that stood out for me was when Adenike said in the last 5 seasons who has spent more money, and Daniel was like, it's not a case of last 5 seasons, we are talking about the career of the manager, so you don't judge him based on the last 5 seasons. And I also love the stats. Both parties did come out, try to put out the stats there. She mentioned the amount of money. Me, I can't even imagine that amount right now because I'll go into depression. That guy has spent money. Adenike mentioned the amount of money he spent. He also came out and mentioned how much Jose Mourinho has spent. I didn't even know that Jose has spent more money than Pep Guardiola, if not for Daniel tonight. So I'll give you guys kudos for those statistics. It was really, really a good one. And I'm going to tilt towards the way of Adenike, and this is the reason why.
Okay.
She was more commanding during the head-to-head. Daniel literally allowed her lead the conversation for me, and I felt when you are in a battle, you don't do that. She came into the studio, she's got a calm look, innocent-like kind of vibes, but when she started the debate, you know that this one no come here to come and fry beans or do anything. She just wants to win the battle. It's all about the 1 million naira at the end of the day. So for the fact that she led the conversation, she was on the front foot, and Daniel at some point was not trying to throw her off balance but couldn't really get to her. I think I'll be voting for Adenike.
All right. So you think that she looks innocent, but she has two faces.
Yeah.
Really. There's a face of her that comes to argue like she did, and there's the face that's quiet when she just came into the studio. That look. So who goes? Bobby. Sounding like my Port Harcourt brothers. Sam and Tony, who goes next? At the moment, we have 40% of the votes in favor of Adenike.
All right. Is Pep dependent on money for success? Again, I thought both intros, like Sarah did mention, was quite good, and it suggested there was enough reason to listen to the head-to-head, but that was also interesting. But the outros were it wasn't rich enough for me. I thought this is where you hammer home your points and try to sway the judge, but I was neither swayed by Nike nor Daniel with the closing. And in between, there was enough to munch on with the stats. I'm not one for numbers, so I've, like Sarah said, gotten a bit of education tonight. But I think both parties sort of left the conversation. You both suffered that. Took the conversation outside of what it was supposed to be. I expected for Daniel, with the topic saying is Pep dependent on money for success, you would tell me why you relate his failures, you dwell more on his failures when you say no, he's not dependent on success. Okay, so relate what he's achieved when he's been outspent with what he's achieved when he's been the top spender. I don't think I got enough of that. You might correct me, but I don't think I heard enough of that. Maybe it was because Adenike was crowding your voice. I don't know that, but I wasn't convinced with that. And I thought Nick also did the same thing. Is Pep dependent on money for success? You didn't tell me exactly or convincingly why that's the case. You went on telling me about, he's outspent every other person, but the success wasn't really defined by either of you. Success in itself could be relative. There's so much dwelling on. Maybe you thought, I would think that it's not so much about trophies. There are other angles to success. You may be swayed to think, it's all about, the money you spent and the trophies you got. No, sometimes it goes outside that. Football now is all about spending. I don't think if you relate the spending Pep has done to Jose, like you mentioned, it's too much of a difference. It's just a few £1 million. So I don't think that got to me what you guys both said. But if I look at the presentation, it was finely matched. Presentation was good. Arguments were equally good. But if I was going to pick based on all things, I think Daniel had a bit more presence for me. And I'll go with Daniel.
Okay, so Daniel has his first 20%. So as things stands, it is 40% for Adenike and 20 for Daniel. Tony could make it even Stevens. Tony could be the deciding factor on the evening. Yeah, Tony, how far now?
I mean, not a bad one, all right? Not a bad one, guys. Well done. Well done. Well done. Exciting topic. Even though, naturally tilts to one angle, given the fact that even Pep Guardiola himself have always come out to say, I was expecting to hear that. None of them talked about it. I was expecting that from Daniel. So, yeah, Pep himself have always come out to say, people call me one of the greatest managers, but my greatness have got to be attributed to the quality of players that played under me.
That would have been some bullets for them.
Absolutely, Chuma. Adenike now. That would have been something for, if you had researched about this, his signing, you would see it on the internet. It's one of the things he oftentimes says. Talked about it when they won the league some couple of years back also. So yeah, I would have thought you would bring that to the fore and all of that. But yeah, it was fair. It was a decent one. I expected more though. That's just for me. I expected more. I like the point, Daniel, that you raised when you talked about Jose Mourinho having spent more than Pep. And then Pep got more trophies than he has. That is also brilliant. Having to go dig that up from the trenches and bring that to life. The head-to-head, it was okay. It was okay. I wasn't blown away, really. All right, but for tonight, I will go Daniel. I'll go Daniel. I think that he did enough for me. To be able to. I mean, I also love the fact he talked about what happened in Pep's first 4 years at Barca. Real Madrid in that period spent more, than him. Yes, he brought in some players subsequently, but Real spent more, and he completely swept off, the titles. It's a difficult perspective to defend because Pep spends, but it's important that you go and get some of these tiny little details to let us know that even though he spent, there have been more people spending than him, but he continues to deliver. So it's beyond the money. There's a bit of something in there. There's something more that makes him maximize whatever he brings or he has in his hands and brings the best out of them. So Daniel gets it for me. That's it.
Thank you, Tony. So we're having some interesting twist here. Adenike took the votes from the callers, 20% that is. And amongst the judges, the first person that spoke in Sarafina went for her too, and she went 40-0. But this guy has come back from the trenches, in the words of Anthony. Sam going for Daniel, and Tony also going for Daniel. So it's even Stevens, 40-40. And this is where social media would have to decide for us. who wins the first battle for tonight. Twitter, 1 more minute left for your votes. And Facebook, you could confirm for us, Anthony, if things are done and dusted, just so we get into that, because it's beautiful to see that social media will decide who gets this for us tonight. So you could start with Facebook if your votes are concluded there.
Well, yesterday, for the very first time on the Farm Battle, we saw Facebook and Twitter go separate ways, and that could be it for tonight. But on Facebook, Adenike walks away with that one with 61% of the vote to Daniel's 39. All right, so let's switch away to Twitter. A couple of seconds left on Twitter, so we're just going to be a little bit patient, because it is pretty close and a couple of votes could swing the points either ways.
Well, one thing is glaring, though, with what you guys are saying. It really has been some keenly contested battle here, because we are on the edge potentially of having me find myself where I don't want to be. Femi Obong Daniels, this was not the plan. That I come in to replace you just for one night, and I'm put in a place where I have to decide. I came here with a free mind that for the first time ever in season 3, I'll be in the studio and not have the burden of deciding who wins a battle. But it's over now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Daniel takes Twitter with 58.2% to Adenike's 41.8%.
It don't happen.
All this means is
just call GM on the phone. Call Femi on the phone now, please.
Femi about Daniels, can we call you to decide who wins this battle, please? Please, don't do this to me, please, Femi. Femi, don't do this. Don't do this to me. No, Mr. Chairman, let me turn off your mic. No, Mr. Chairman, let me say something, please. Sam, why are you looking at me now?
See what the farmer today cause.
No, but that's credit to the both of them.
Yeah, it is.
For a good debate.
Wow. So it's 50% apiece. 20% of the votes through the phone lines going the way of Adenike. And then Tarafina went for her and she went on 40. Sam and Tony ensured that Daniel came back into the race, 40% each. Facebook went for Adenike. She had the edge again, 50-40. And Twitter have decided to settle for Daniel. What that means is, well, the host will have to decide who goes through now. And that host is myself. I wish I could say let's go in for a commercial break, but I don't think we have that luxury now. However, I should have at least 10 seconds of respite before making up my mind. And this is where Peter Drury can come in.
Hi guys, I'm Peter Drury, football commentator, and you are hanging out with Femi and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info FM.
And I want to
Well, I must commend both parties. I really must commend you guys. I thought that you came here ready, and I'm one who's grateful when you have stats to back up your arguments, because somehow football provides these stats to help you argue for or against something. And it wasn't just some kind of beer parlor argument. You guys came in here ready, and that's why the votes have explained things for us. I thought, though, that Adenike should have added a few names. Success, like Sam said, is beyond its trophies, of course, but success also could be how much money the club makes with the presence of these players, how successful the players themselves become in the team when they are brought in. And, we know Pep Guardiola has been accused of spending money to sign some players, and when they don't click, he'll spend to sign another one. Before Ederson Moraes became first choice goalkeeper of Man City, we know he spends 50 or there. He spent quite a handful of euros to get a goalkeeper from Barcelona who did not click, who did not give him that tiki-taka thing.
Bravo.
And even John Stones, £50 million before Stones has clicked now, but earlier he felt exactly. Let me turn on your mic.
Netanyahu
too. So some players that Guardiola spent money to sign, right, who were not successful at Manchester City. I thought that could have added to Adenike's argument beyond just looking at it from the perspective of trophies won or trophies not won. And Daniel did quite a great job too. So I think that the only leeway I'll have, because honestly from my heart of hearts I was so impressed with both parties that I honestly cannot pick out from my own perspective who will take the edge here. But this is what I will use to give one of the contestants the edge, and that will be the disparity in percentage. So on Twitter, Tony?
Yeah.
Adenike got 48.1%
Yeah.
of the votes on Twitter. Daniel got 51.9%, right?
Right.
On Facebook, what was the disparity?
Well, the disparity on Facebook was quite much, really, for Adenike. So she got 61 points. Daniel with 39 points.
All right, that will be my deciding factor now. So, with the powers vested on me as the interim host of this show in the absence of Femi Daniels, I would say congratulations to you, Adenike. This was a narrow victory, but you're through to the next stage of the Fan Battle Season 3, the round of 16. How do you feel?
Relief.
I could feel it.
Relief, but I'm happy. I think I did better than the first time. And Daniel, you did amazing too. So congratulations to you too.
Wow, you sounding like a tennis player now. Tennis players sound like
Yes,
when they win games.
It gave me a good fight.
Exactly. Perhaps you should sound like a boxer, those who brag, or like a Zlatan Ibrahimovic now. I'm a lion. Close one for you, Dan. It's not the end of the road officially for you because there's going to be a chance for you to get redemption. But what that will mean is you have to stay back. You cannot hurriedly go home. But how do you feel? You came here with your A game. You came with your best. But somehow just thin margins have ensured that you were second best. At least you were seen as second best by everybody. Just behind, just narrowly behind the lady Adenike. 50% you got. It's a record. Just yesterday was the first time we had 50% apiece, and Femi had to intervene with who won. And today is only the second time in 3 weeks of season 3 that we're having this. So you came with a good fight, man. You did.
Yeah, thank you, Anchuma. I want to congratulate Adenike for scaling that over, but it's also good to hear opinions and judgments from you guys. It was fantastic. I don't feel bad at all. I don't know why, but I don't feel bad at all. I think Adenike really pushed me, and I think the judges did well too by giving their verdict. And the fact that it's just what is it called? The disparity between
slim margin.
So it's fine. It's fine. I truly congratulate her for her success. I'm looking forward to seeing her do very well in subsequent matches.
Yeah, indeed. And like I told you, it'll be nice if you can just stay back a bit, because after the next battle, we'll decide who will be saved, if it's going to be yourself or the loser from the other battle.
That's
okay.
fine.
All right, perfect stuff. Good to have you here. And for Adenike, you are, if you were to be in Boys Brigade or Girl Scout, when they say all of those things, they now ask, I'm looking for your permission for this and that and that. And the commander will say permission granted. So permission granted. You can go home now if you want to.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So that's the first battle for today, June 30, 2022. Day number 14 of the Fan Battle. We're going to be back with the second battle shortly, but there's even more of information to come your way. And Sarafina always has all of these money plugs. She does. What's the latest now for us, Fina?
Yeah, my darling. You know my Prince Charming. Let's talk about skate. Because... okay. 5 more calls. Let's talk about skate. Because everyone deserves a good day. And every good day deserves... for those who love it smooth and strong, and if you love the uniquely blended coffee flavor and the rich taste in alcohol.